Hey creative, what's up? It's your girl Jamila and welcome back to the laboratory. Y'all, I just recently got back from my trip to Miami where I attended Ricoma Deco Summit and it was awesome. Oh my goodness. So this was my first time going, but it will definitely not be my last, okay? The information you obtain by attending, so let me back up. My Ricoma's Deco Summit is this annual thing they do where you basically come and learn about every machine that Ricoma has to offer, okay? They have all their machines on display. They have hands-on training. They have hands-on training for the machines. They have hands-on training for chroma digitizing. They have speaker panels. They have dinners with Henry Ma, and you can go pick his brain, things like that. Like when I tell you this experience was it was awesome, and I cannot wait to share all the tips and tricks that I picked up along and going forward in our tutorials. But of course, I went ahead and recorded my trip, and I put together, like a little snippet of how it went, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how Deco Summit is. And y'all, when I tell you, join Racoma's email list. Okay, join their email list and be on the lookout for when they're telling you Deco Summit is, because I've had my machine for like 3-4 years now, y'all. And when I tell y'all, I learned so much. I learned so much, okay? If you really want to know your machine, if you really want to be the best in this embroidery game, digitizing game, DTF game, like, they have so many machines going on. It's crazy. But if you really, really, really want to, step your game up, Deco Summit is where you need to be. So, let's go ahead and jump into the video. It's 3:29 in the morning, and I'm on my way to Miami. Let's go. Guess who just landed in Miami? So I'm just out here waiting on the shuttle, but then Katrina called me and she was like, she just landed too, so she should be down here any second. Yay! Yeah, we're out here waiting. Oh, say hi to Katrina. Hi, Katrina. We've been here forever. It's like, where is this shuttle? Jesus Christ. Oh, God. We finally made it onto the shuttle, you guys. I don't know how long we actually waited, but that humidity made it feel like forever. So this year, the Rocoma's Deco Summit was at the Miami Hilton Blue Lagoon Hotel, and they actually have a free shuttle. So that was a free shuttle. It runs about every 30 minutes to and from the hotel. So, that was actually really awesome. Didn't have to get an Uber or anything. But once we stepped into the lobby, I was like, okay, this is cute. Like, it was really cute. And like the staff was super helpful and super nice. So I just had like a standard room. I really don't know why they gave me a double bed, but I guess, like as everybody checks in, things get taken. So it was a double bed, but I was like, it really doesn't matter. It was a really pretty, really nice room. The only thing that honestly got me was like this TV was not a smart TV. I really thought I was gonna be able to like catch up on some Netflix shows or, things like that. But honestly, I was so kind of like busy, like checking in with what's going on. I really didn't even have time to watch TV. But this pool right here, y'all, this picture doesn't do it any justice. But this pool, it's on me every day, okay? And this view, watching the sunrise and sunset from this view was absolutely gorgeous, okay? It was really, really pretty. I definitely miss waking up to that view every day. But yeah, so that was my room, and after a long day of traveling, you guys, your girl had to take a nap, okay? Had to take a nap before I caught up with the girls for dinner. Good morning. It's officially day one of Racoma's Deco Summit. So let's go ahead downstairs and begin our day. So everything is pretty much at the hotel. So I just went downstairs and for the first day went ahead and uh kind of checked in, got my VIP badge, a little goodie bag and the schedule. Every morning they had a schedule printed off so you could kind of like see, what was going on for the day and see where you wanted or needed to be. Everyone was super helpful because there's a few times I was like, where is room such and such? And they were able to guide me in the right direction. And then they had like this little quarter where you walk through, and they had their different vendors and things like that. And it was really cool, but I had to stop at this Flex Fit vending machine. Basically, it was like giving you hats, the best hat for whatever project you wanted to do. So they had a hat for patches, one that like directly embroider on, one for applique. And I was just talking to the lady, and she was kind of giving me the rundown on the differences. And so she actually gave me a couple of the hats, so thank you. And we'll be doing some embroidery hat projects with the Flex Fit hats. And see, that's the thing about Deco Summit. I haven't really done too much hat content on my channel because it was like intimidating. But when I went to Deco Summit and I did my hands-on training, we did hats. And now I'm way more comfortable, to do hats. So yay, shout out to Deco Summit. Like literally that's the whole purpose, right? I overcame my fear of hats. Now I'll be able to add something new. So every morning they had like little finger foods for breakfast or whatnot. But there's also a restaurant in the hotel. So you could grab something from the restaurant. They had a restaurant, they had like a little store that had a few things in there. So I mean, there's several ways to eat, right? They had little finger foods there, the restaurant, the little gift store. It was things were abundant. Okay. So the first day is really a lot of speaking. These are a few of the different panels that they had going on. We did a little icebreaker. They gave us a rundown of, how Deco Summit would go for the next few days. And then they unveiled some new machines. Well, I don't think the Titan is new. I think they just made some improvements on it, which is really cool because then that makes me believe, like, okay, Ricoma is listening to the customers. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like, they made a jump motor. The color changes are faster and quieter. They have like a new emergency stop button in a different position. Like, there was just like a few different things on that they were talking about on this machine that that just made me think that, like, okay, this is feedback that they've gotten from people, and they actually care to try and make improvements on it. So kudos to Racoma, for actually caring what your customers are saying and actually trying to, make the experience better and improve on that. So they've improved on the Titan, and then they've also came out with their new DTF machine. And so this one is supposed to be smaller than their other one, and it's supposed to be able to fit through a standard door. And like, y'all, when I tell you, like, everybody in the crowd was cheering, so I guess that's a really big deal because everybody was like clapping when he said that. Whatnot. So I don't know anything about DTF, but hey, kudos to Racoma for listening, making it more compact. And also, guys, when you attend things like this, you could get your machines for cheaper than you get a little bit of a discount on your machines and things like that. So the starting price at Deco Summit for this machine was like 10,000. I don't know what it is normally, but hey, sounds good to me. But after the little speaking engagement, I went out there, and this is what it actually looks like. Okay, y'all, DTF is a beast. There's a lot of moving parts going on with that. So the first class I jumped into was all about applique because y'all know that's like my favorite style of embroidery. They were just kind of showing us like different styles of applique, different tips and tricks to get out of applique, different tools to use, different stabilizers. So it was a really good class and I really enjoyed it. I did pick up a few things out of that class as well. And of course, Katrina had a class about, starting a business on a shoestring budget, which is a lot of us. So, and Katrina's very successful and she's doing very well. If you don't know Katrina, you can catch her on YouTube at Katrina's Graceful Creations. So that was a really good class. Then Alan from A-Dub Productions, he's on YouTube, Instagram as well, gave a really good presentation on like, cause Alan has 1,000 different machines, okay, and he just kind of gave like the comparison, maintenance, like tips and tricks on managing the different machines in his production. Then they had a speaker panel where the crowd was able to ask each one of these guys questions, business questions, and social media questions, whatever was on your brain, you could pick theirs. We had a break for lunch, and of course, they were serving like little finger foods and things like that. I ended up ordering some Uber Eats, I believe. But y'all, it rained the same time every day in Miami, okay? Like it would be sunshine, and then next minute you would look out the window and it was pouring down, raining. It did this probably rain for like an hour and a half or so. Then it was right back sunny, you guys. So literally same time every day this happened. After lunch, it was more presentations. Patrice had one. Patrice from Craftable Things about like time management. Y'all know Patrice does 1,000 things, and I'm always wondering, like, girl, how do you have the time? But she gave out some really good productivity tips, and your girl was on a panel. Okay, I gave out some really great like Instagram tips and things like that. If I do say so myself. At the end of the day, this is what was in the goodie bag: some thread, a tee from Bella Canvas, a shirt from Super Soft, and some pamphlets from the different vendors that were downstairs as well. So yeah, that was pretty much day one. There were tons more classes, but you guys, like, I'm only one person. I couldn't be in every place at at the same time. But we ended up wrapping the night up at this restaurant called Tap 42, and it was really good. Great food, great company, and that was day one. Okay. So day two is actually where you get all the hands-on training. So I did a beginner and an advanced EM 1010 class. And so like yeah, it was so nice meeting some of my subscribers because they were there. And so they were there at Deco Summit, and I walked in class. They was like, "Girl, what are you doing in here?" I was like, "I just like in the beginning class. I was like, I just really want to make sure that I know everything I need to know about my machine." Okay, so the advanced, I mean, the beginner class it was a little too beginner for me. Okay, so it was two people to a machine. So I really let my partner just be able to, get the one-on-one help that she needed because she had her machine for several months and she was scared to take it out. So I really, just stepped back and socialized and helped other people when they were needed. But, there were techs, like employees coming around, basically working with everybody, making sure that the project was going well. Yeah, when I tell y'all, we had thread breaks, we had like almost every issue that goes wrong with an embroidery machine, we had it. And I'm really happy that we had it because, like I said, this is a beginner's class. It lets them know that this is normal, and they actually had an expert there to help them through it. Okay, like to be like, okay, well, if your thread breaks, this is what you need to check, this is what you need to do. Like he's explaining how to do your bobbin. Like when I tell you this was like beginner, like basic, he took it all the way down and he was so patient. All the questions were answered. Like I felt like it was a really great class for beginners. It was a little too beginner for me, but it was actually still nice to see the beginners learning and getting the confidence and things that they needed to be able to use their machine once they leave here. So we did three projects in the beginning class. We did a hat, we did a patch, and then we did like a left chest embroidery. Okay, so they kind of walk you through like threading the machine, how to set up the color changes. Like when I say it was beginner friendly, it was definitely beginner friendly. And this is how our projects turned out at the end of the beginner class. I learned, look, like I said, even though this was beginner, I still picked up a few tips and tricks about this as well, and some new tools that I needed to use as well. So after the first hands-on training class, we had a lunch break. I think me and Katrina ended up going like to Jersey Mike's or something like that. But then I came back for the advanced class, and now, this was right up my alley, right? Because, like I said, we were doing hats, and I don't do hats. Me and Ricky, we've done like one or two, and I was like, yeah, I'm straight on this, right? But we did like an applique style hat. We did a 3D puff hat so we did the 3D puff stitch, and then we actually stitched on the side as well. And I think those are the only two projects that we did in that class. And y'all, that applique distressed applique style hat, I mean, it was a cool technique, but nobody really liked the design. Like it just Like that's what we were laughing and joking about right here in this clip. Oh, and another thing about Deco Summit, you will meet some really great people. Like, when we were in class, we were laughing and talking, getting to know what they do for their business or, what's in demand and where they live. And it's just like, it's a great way to socialize, meet new people, learn new things. Even like some of the other students in the class were giving, like tips and tricks because when you embroider a hat on your EM1010, it like the bill of the hat scuffs up against the back of the machine, and they was like, well, you can do this to kind of combat that or yada yada, so like everybody was just sharing and having an experience, so it was really good. Angel B and Patrice popped up in class just to say hi. They were doing their own training on their 15 needles, I believe it was. So it was a lot of socializing, a lot of learning, and a lot of fun, you guys. But when I did this 3D puff hat, I was like, oh my goodness, I absolutely love, 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 love this hat. And then, so I kind of finished with like my class a little bit early. So I was walking down, like the hallway, just looking at the other different machines and things like that. And I met one of my favorite Ricoma YouTubers, and I showed him one of the projects I completed from watching his video, and then he taught me a little digitizing trick on how to do these 3D puffs. So that was really cool. Yeah, I was running late this morning. I didn't even get to hit y'all with the Deco Summit Day 2. But I basically just ended up wrapping up Deco Summit Day 2, and it was amazing. Y'all, I learned so much. When I tell you I can't wait to bring y'all the next tutorial, I'm about to put y'all on game, okay? I really, really learned a lot with the hands-on training class, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm super excited about that. But they're having like a Havana Nights theme party tonight, so I'm about to go ahead and get ready for that, and I'll take y'all along with me for that too. So I don't know what happened to the video, but this is a picture of me from that night. And y'all, when I tell y'all this party was so much fun, we had a blast. They had a Congo line, there was dancing, they had an open bar. Like after a full day of like learning and things like that, it was nice to just be able to, come together, cut loose and have fun. So that was a really good night. And then, of course, for day three, so day three was a short day for me, which next time I know to kind of plan that better because I was actually flying out on day three. But next year, I'll get a later flight or actually check out the next day because day three, since I didn't have any hands on training, I was able to go to one of their chroma classes. And y'all, when I tell y'all, first of all, I love Janae because I've been in one of her chroma classes before, um, and she's awesome. But this chroma class, she basically projected everything onto. So there was a couple different chroma classes, right? Janae was doing one on applique because y'all know applique is my favorite kind of embroidery. So she basically displayed her screen and was walking us through the steps on, how to digitize this right here. She passed around an applique item that she actually, finished, and that's basically what she was teaching us how to design. Like this is what the project will look at the end of the class. And yeah, when I tell y'all, I was only in this as class is like 3.5 hours long. I was there for like an hour before I had to go leave and head to the airport. And the information I obtained in that little hour, like this is the project right here, the information I obtained in that little hour, I've come home and I've applied it. Y'all, my digitizing skills is gonna be on 1,000. I promise you, y'all. This little hour class, I learned so much. Chroma is the way less intimidating. Like everybody had computers. Janae was going around helping everybody. A little bit later on, they had a couple more assistants come in the class and help. Y'all, when I tell y'all Deco Summit is where you need to be, Deco Summit is where y'all need to be. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is like a little snippet of what it was like to attend Ricoma's Deco Summit 2024. Like I said, this is my first year, but it will definitely not be my last year. Okay, the information that you obtain is invaluable. If you really want to step up your embroidery game, DTF, digitizing, business game, because they had a lot of speakers on there talking about business, giving away free gems, you guys, okay? Ricoma's Deco Summit is where you need to be. Look for it next year. It's usually around the same time next year, but don't quote me, okay? Join their email list so you can be notified for sure. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and make sure that bell notification is on so you don't miss any of my upcoming craft tutorials.